look forward to hearing from you. This is the agenda for today's video, but in summary, I'm going to introduce you to Floe, our outstanding email solution for SAP, taking about 3 to 4 minutes before handing over to Kimon for a demo. So, why did we make Floe? We were keen to deliver Fiori projects that impressed our clients, and email was an area where we struggled a bit. Really, it was to make it fast and easy for our own consultants to develop emails that were integrated with SAP and completely tailored and personalized to the recipient. Floe is in one part an ABAP add-on, where we handle all the data integration alongside a Fiori SAP UI5 designer. The designer exploits the idea of fragments that build up into templates that we can reuse again and again in projects. Developers like you would work with Floe like that as well. At runtime, the Floe framework acts as an email generator, so it selects and manipulates an email template based on data coming from SAP. The framework supports very simple emails or really complex ones. We can include images, add in attachments, and create a log so that we can report on exactly what was sent. We can use some really clever functionality like being able to support multiple levels of nested content for things like invoices. We still have a long list of ideas actually. Decision Capture has come into our latest 2.10 release to link email back into SAP. You'll see that in the demo. So Floe is great for smart communication that is personalized, looks great because it exploits HTML, is easy to use with different languages, and now with PDF support, we have a strong story on accessibility. Floe has an API-centric design, so it's easy to integrate. It works well with SAP authorizations, and the outbound messages go through SAP Connect. What we've just added is integration to use Floe to output PDFs via our new service Render.io, which converts Floe HTML into PDF. And this is the next and significant stage in our journey, because those PDFs can then be distributed via email or printed. For us, in Floe, the obvious use is if an attachment is needed, and not just the PDF of the email itself, although we can do that, but a separate one rendered from another HTML file. So really what we'd created with Floe was a super solution for HTML output in SAP, and now we've added on a PDF extension. Okay, now for some examples of what you can do with Floe. As I mentioned, improving email output from SAP was something we wanted to do for our Fiori data capture projects with process notifications. Now, these can be triggered in various ways, for example from our software itself or from SAP workflow. So instead of a plain workflow notification with no embedded data, Floe creates great looking notifications with helpful information from the workflow container inside the email. Now, we can apply the idea of putting all the relevant data into the body of the email to output and deliver an alternative, additional option for SAP customers with the desire to replace a plain email and PDF attachment with a new, graphically rich email that includes SAP data. Because Floe supports dynamic content, logos can change and information can be included or excluded based on SAP business logic. A third and new use case is for decision capture. Here you can see it is used to allow for an order to be cancelled. Now this brings a degree of interactivity to email that can be very helpful, and we're going to show you a demo of that now. Thank you very much. Let me hand over to Kimon for a demo of the product.
Hello, my name is Kimon and I'm going to be doing a short demonstration of the Floe Designer application. The Floe Designer application is a web-based application that allows us to create and maintain email content. This is the landing page of the application, also known as the Manage Email page. Here I can see a list of emails underneath their respective categories. I can create a new email type either from scratch or by using an existing email type as a basis. For now, let us select an existing email type already created in the system. This example is an order confirmation email, a scenario most people will be familiar with. As we can see, the email consists of a number of parts, also known as blocks. Blocks can be moved around in the email, copied to create a new block, or indeed deleted. If I select a block, I can use the bottom half of my screen to maintain it. The Content tab is where I maintain the content. For this purpose, I've got a rich text editor, which I can use to add text, to format text, or to add things like variables, tables, and images. It's worth noticing this bit of text surrounded by ampersand. This is what we call a flow variable. It will be substituted at runtime with the correct data. The data might be fed into the calling API, or it may be fetched by an ABAP user exit. In the Properties tab, I can do things like change the background color of my block, or give it a bit of padding, or some borders. In the Settings tab, I've got a bit of metadata around the block, and also two switches. One determines whether the block is repeatable, and one determines whether the block is a library block. A repeatable block is one that can repeat depending on the data passed in. This here items block, for example, is going to repeat once for each item on my order. A library block is a block used by more than one email type. For this reason, I'm not allowed to maintain it in here. To do so, I must navigate to the Manage Library page, which requires extra authorizations. If I want to add a new block to my email, I must drag and drop from the left. A text block is the most common scenario, is a block created and maintained using a rich text editor. A separator block is a horizontal line, or indeed, if I so choose, a bit of white space. If I drag and drop a library block in, I'm presented with a list of library blocks maintained in the system. To choose one, I just need to select it. From this page, I can navigate directly to the test trigger page and send myself a test email. Once that has landed, I can view it in Outlook. As we can see, the variables have been replaced by the actual data. Our repeating block repeats, and dynamic images have also been added.